Hello everyone, this is CA Prachi Parekh. In today's small presentation, we are going to analyze the provisions of Section 194M pertaining to TDS in respect of payments made to resident contractors and professionals. Section 194M of the Income Tax Act 1961 was introduced by Finance Act No. 2 of 2019 and it is applicable with effect from the 1st of September 2019. The provisions which we are discussing in the due course of this presentation are relevant for the assessment year 2021. This short video would be useful as a revisionary video for students of CA Final and CA Inter who are set to appear for the November 20 attempt. Apart from this, it would also be useful to practicing professionals to gain an understanding of the various implications of Section 194M. Let us proceed to understand the provisions in detail. In the context of Section 194M, the payer is an individual or HUF who is otherwise not required to deduct TDS under the provisions of Section 194C, 194H, 194I, 194J, etc. If we look at these sections which I just mentioned, they put an obligation on individual and HUF to deduct TDS only in the case in the preceding previous year their turnover or professional receipts are in excess of the threshold specified under the provisions of Section 44 AB. So all those individuals who don't fulfill that criteria are outside the scope of sections 194C, H, I, J, etc. So 194M seeks to get into its ambit these kind of individuals and HUFs. Further, if we look at the provisions of these various sections which I mentioned, they have an exclusion in respect of expenses which are incurred for personal purposes by the assessee. Section 194M also tries to bring into its ambit these kind of expenses which are incurred for personal purposes by the assessee. So I would here just like to say, for the purpose of making things simpler, that Section 194M in a way tries to bring into its ambit all such exclusions which are otherwise not covered under the provisions of Section 194C, H, I, J, etc. So here an individual or HUF who makes any payment or credits any sum to a resident on account of or for the purpose of carrying out any work including supply of labor or for carrying out any work in pursuance to any contract, payment which is made by way of commission other than insurance commission and brokerage, payment which is made by way of fees for professional services would be liable to deduct TDS under the provisions of this section in case the aggregate sum paid during the year exceeds rupees 50 lakhs at a rate of 5% on the total sum if the aggregate sum is exceeding the specified threshold. So the rate which is being specified by this section is 5%. The threshold which is specified here is 50 lakhs. And the moment you cross the threshold of 50 lakhs, for that tranche which caused you to go beyond this specified threshold on the entire component, you would be required to make TDS at the rate of 5%. Let us understand and analyze the provisions of this section with the help of a few illustrations. So there are 5 illustrations which I have covered in this slide, and this is the basic information which is common to all illustrations. Mr. Rahul is an individual. He makes the following payments to a resident contractor. He's made a payment of INR 27 lakhs on the 10th of August 2019 and INR 26 lakhs on the 22nd of November 2019. We are required to examine the applicability of Section 194M in the following independent situations. Coming to situation A, Mr. Rahul is a businessman. His books of accounts are audited every year under Section 44 AB and the above payments which are being made are for business purposes. Now this is a pretty simple situation because Mr. Rahul's books of accounts are audited every year under the provisions of Section 44 AB. It goes without saying that his turnover for the preceding previous year would be in excess of the threshold specified under Section 44 AB. So in this case, Section 194M would not be applicable because the assessee would be covered by the provisions of Section 194C. At this point, I would just like to make a small deliberation here. Section 194M requires that those individuals and HOFs who are otherwise not covered by 194C, H, etc. would be payers under this section. If we look at the provisions of Section 194C, 194H, for an individual and HOF to be covered under the provisions of those sections, the criteria which is outlined is as follows. It says that for an individual and HOF to be covered, their turnover or gross receipts in the preceding previous year should be in excess of the threshold specified under Section 44AB. So the only condition is that their turnover or their gross receipts has to cross the threshold specified under 44AB. There is no such mandatory requirement that their books of accounts have to be audited in the preceding previous year. There might be a situation wherein an assessee's books of accounts might have remained unaudited in the preceding previous year, despite the fact that his turnover or gross receipts was in excess of the threshold which is specified. So still that assessee would be covered under 194C, H, J, etc. and he would be outside the scope of section 194M. Coming to illustration A, which is put up on the slide, this case is squarely covered under the provisions of section 194C and therefore the provisions of section 194M would not be applicable. Coming to the second illustration on the slide, Mr. Rahul is a businessman. His books of accounts are not audited in the immediately preceding financial year as his turnover is lower than the threshold limit of 1 crore. Payment which is made to the contractor is for business purpose. Now this illustration clearly informs us of both the situations, that neither are his books of accounts audited nor is his turnover beyond the specified threshold limit of 1 crore. Because of this, he would be outside the scope of section 194C. Our case would be covered under the provisions of section 194M, and in this case, section 194M would be applicable. For the first tranche of 27 lakhs, which is paid on 10th of August 2019, there would be no implication of TDS as such. Where the assessee is making the second payment of 26 lakhs on 22nd of November 2019, that is the payment which causes the entire amount to go beyond 50 lakhs. Also, it is a payment which is made after the section came into effect. Therefore, TDS at the rate of 5% of 26 lakhs would be deducted, which comes to 1,30,000. Situation 3. Payment is made to the contractor for personal purposes. Now, unlike sections 194CH, etc., which have an exclusion for such expenses which are incurred for the personal purposes of the assessee, section 194M has no such exclusion. Therefore, in this case, section 194M would be applicable, and again the amount of TDS which would be required to be made is 5% of 26 lakhs, which is 1,30,000. Situation D. Mr. Rahul is a non-resident Indian not having any business income in India, and the payment is made to the contractor for personal purposes. Now, if we analyze the provisions of section 194M, when talking of the payer as such, there is no requirement or there is no criteria specified as regards the residential status of such payer. If we look at the recipient's residential status, it is necessary that the recipient ought to be a resident for the purpose of applicability of the provisions of this section. However, here, for the payer as such, there is no requirement, and therefore, even though Mr. Rahul is a non-resident Indian, not having any business income in India, because he is fulfilling other conditions of section 194M, he would be under an obligation to deduct TDS, and the provisions of this section would become applicable. Coming to the last of the situation I have covered in the illustration, Mr. Rahul is a farmer earning agricultural income which is exempt under section 10(1). So predominantly it is agricultural income being earned in India. The payment is made to the contractor for personal purposes. Now again, if we look at the provisions of section 194M, there is no such requirement specified that the payment ought to have been made out of taxable income, etc. So even though Mr. Rahul as such is earning exempt, which is earning income which is exempt under the provisions of Income Tax Act, it is only included for rate purposes as such, he would still be under an obligation to deduct TDS under the provisions of Section 194M. However, we don't have any precedents to this, so whatever conclusions I have derived in these illustrations are a result of my reading and my view. So we will have to wait and see what would be the practical implications of this. But looking at the language of Section 194M per se, we can conclude that even in the case the assessee is earning exempt income, the provisions of Section 194M would be applicable. So these were few illustrations which help to analyze various situations and the applicability of Section 194M in its context. The recipient in this case can apply for lower or nil TDS certificate. Also, an important aspect here is for the payer, it is not necessary to obtain the TAN. So individual and HUF will be able to deposit the TDS which they have deducted using their PAN, and obtaining TAN is not necessary. So this short video was dealing with the provisions of Section 194M of the Income Tax Act 1961. If at all you have any queries, you can always get in touch on my email ID, which is caprachiparekh@gmail.com. You can subscribe to my channel on YouTube, which is CA Prachi Parekh. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for your hearing. See you soon.